Yes, Lola. Are you just a bad girl? Are you just so bad? You need to leave? Thank you. Wow. Hi, it's Emily. Welcome back to my podcast called Scream of Consciousness, I guess. I don't know. That was the name of it. I don't really do it very much anymore. But I think I need to. I started a new job. It is slowly going. I had like a full week where I was just like waiting to be trained. And so now I've started to be trained, and I just, I do think, I'm going to like it, but I just don't like this period of not knowing what I'm doing. Like, it's my least favorite thing is not knowing what I'm doing, and it makes me feel stupid, and I feel like a failure, even though I literally just started, like, not giving myself any time to, like, get better at things, because I'm not, like, immediately good at it. So it sucks, but this exact same thing happened with my last job. So, like, I know that it will get better, and I know that I will. Oh, look at my little kitty. I know that I will get better at what I'm doing, but it's just, I really just don't like not knowing what I'm doing. It's one of my least favorite things. So, anyway, yeah. I have a lot in my mind that's been going on. I did go back to therapy because I was having a really hard time in like October, like really hard time. Oh no, it was September. Sorry, it was like the end of September, beginning of October. It was like really bad. I was like, I need to talk to someone. And I didn't even get to talk to anyone until like a month, like almost a month later, pretty much. So, and it was like already like okay at that point. I'm never okay, right? Like, but I was like better than I was, and like my crisis moments were over. And I wasn't even like in a crisis. I was just like very low. Like, I was very much like, I don't like my life at all. Which is pretty low, but it wasn't like, I wasn't suicidal. I will say that. I have been in the past, and so I know what that is like. I know what it feels like. I know what my thoughts, are when that happens. I don't know, maybe it would have, I was gonna say maybe it would have gotten to that point, but it wouldn't have, because like if I didn't go to therapy, but it wouldn't have, because I literally didn't even go to therapy until I had already like figured it out. And so I don't know. I obviously I've been in therapy for like on and off since like I was 23, I think. So it's been like 8 years. Again, on and off, like very much sporadically, but like at the very beginning, at 23, when my dad passed away, that was when I started going. And well, I was 22 at that time, but no, I was 23. No, I was 22. And then I turned 23 that year. But so yeah, I started going then, and I was going very consistently at that point, like for I think like 2 years. I think maybe at least a year. And my therapist was like, oh, okay, like I think you're done. Like kind of like you you don't need me anymore at the moment. And so I was like, okay. And she was leaving anyways, so she was like, I saw she like changed me over to someone else for like one last session, but she was like, I know that you're good, like you're good. And I was like, I agree. And so I think that's when I went back to school, actually. And anyway, that was a long time ago, but I was doing a lot better. And I've been like worse for sure than I have been this year. Last year specifically, I was even worse. Actually, I don't know that I was. I don't know. Last year was very bad, obviously, because of COVID and everything. And my anxiety was really bad. I don't think my anxiety is that bad this year. But maybe it is. I don't know. I don't. Yeah, you know what it was? It was my anxiety. It was. It was definitely my anxiety. I forgot. But I think there was a little bit of depression in there too. But it was like, I think it was starting. It was like, I could tell that I was getting bad again. Like, I was like, oh, this isn't good. And also, I don't know. I realized something about myself that I definitely don't want to talk about. But, it's like something that I use as like a coping mechanism. And I guess I'll just be vague about it and say, like, I tend to become more obsessed with things when I am more depressed, because it's like an escape, you know what I mean? My cat is going to start making noise and she's not going to stop. So, it's like the most annoying noise I've ever heard in my life. Like that and like plastic bags rustling I'm going insane. Like it's like, I think it's called like misophonia. Oh my God. Oh, misophonia. Like, I am in intense rage right now. Like, I feel so much anger welling up inside of me because of these noises she's making. I think she stopped. But I don't want to get my hopes up. There she is. She's like, I know you're talking about me. But yeah, misophonia or something. It's just like, oh my God, it's so frustrating. Anyway, so I become like obsessed to an unhealthy degree more often when I'm not happy with my life. So like when I'm really, really anxious or when I'm really depressed. And so like as a coping mechanism, I just try to like escape from my reality by caring a lot about something else. Like I'm like, I don't care about anything else. This is all of my this has all of my attention. And hello Lola. She's so cute. And I just am like done, you know, like I'm like tunnel focused on one thing or, you know, whatever. And so I was kind of doing that and it was very unhealthy for me, like very unhealthy. And I recognized things that I have done in the past that I was like starting to do again, and I did not like that. And so I talked to my therapist about it and I was like, I think I realized why I was doing it, and that's the main thing for me, like figuring out why I am doing something. Lola is like the solution to me stopping doing it. Like once I understand why I'm doing something, I can pretty easily at least get out of the unhealthy stage of that aspect. Like I was very obsessed with something and then I realized that I was using it as an escapism, which I did not know before. Like I didn't realize that like the two like worst times of my life I was doing that, and I got really deep into those things. Like when my dad was not in a good place mentally. Yeah, I'm sure mentally, but also physically. He was, in and out of the hospital, in nursing homes, lost his leg. Like, he was very much not healthy. And it was a scary time. And I was also babysitting like 3 to 4 days a week, like 8.5 to 9 hour days. Then I was going to work at my job, and then I was also going to school. Like, all of these things were happening, and that was like the worst time of my life. Like, I wanted to die. Like, I did. And that was like the main, she's playing with the lights, time of my life where I was like not okay. And I realized, like, I at that time was getting like unhealthily obsessed with a celebrity, and I stopped doing that. I at that point I didn't realize why. Like, I didn't know why I was doing that, and that it didn't really matter. It was very easy for me to do that at that time because the person was not like actively in like stuff and wasn't doing anything like that I could consume as media or anything. So I was like, okay, it was kind of easy for me to just be like, okay, goodbye, and I'm not coming back, and just move on. It wasn't easy in the sense that, like, I mean, this was my life. Like, I was involved very heavily in this fandom, and very much like surrounding this person, and I was obsessed with this person, and it was unhealthy. And I recognized that it was unhealthy because I was getting like angry. Like, I was getting like resentful when I was everyone who knows me knows who I'm talking about, but like, because I had gotten like, this was in like 2009, by the way. So like 2009, well, no, I mean, it wasn't in 2009 when this happened, but it was like 2009, 2010, 11. So I was like, I had gotten like Twitter notices from this person, like responses, mentions, and blah blah blah, whatever. Multiple times. And I met this person in person, and like, I was at the point where like I would believe, like, I knew that I was not this person's friend. Like, I knew that realistically. Like, I knew that this person did not really know me, and I did not really know them. However, I was still like, if I was like tweeting at them and then they didn't respond to me, because they did very often respond, I would get upset. And I'm like, why am I, like, are you kidding? Like, I was getting mad at myself. Like, you can't get upset about that. Like, you're so stupid. And so I recognized it was unhealthy, and I was like, okay, I have to take myself out of the situation. So I like unfollowed this person, and I like stopped interacting and blah blah blah, and I left. And so that's why that happened. I am following them now, and I like do not have any like ill will against them. That's why I stopped following them, because I was like, I don't want to dislike this person just because of my own crap that I'm dealing with myself. Like, what is wrong with me? And so I did not end up disliking that person, and I follow them now, and it's fine. Like, I don't care at all in the same way that I did previously. So it's like, I know now, like, and also I'm much older, so like, I don't know, it was much easier for me to just be like, it's much easier now for me to like follow them and just like their posts, I guess, if I want, but also not all the time. Like, it just is like, whatever. But I won't, so, but I was getting to a point, again recently where it was happening again. Like I was being obsessed to a degree where I was like, I am unhealthy. Like this is affecting my day and my life, to be honest. Like I was not getting work done at work, and not my new job, but my previous job. And I was just like, it was really, really hard for me, and I like stopped. I was like crying like every day, because like something was happening in this fandom, and I was very upset about it, and it was very much affecting me and my like anxiety for sure. It was like really bad. And so eventually I got better. The situation got better in general, and then once I was talking to my therapist the first time I talked to her again after I signed back up, she was like asking me like, well, what brought you back, and I was like, if I'm honest, like it's this situation. And I was kind of explaining, it was like the end of our conversation, like I was telling her about my week or whatever, and then at the end of the conversation she asked that, and that's what I said. It was like this situation, and I don't want to admit it. Like I don't want to admit out loud to myself that I am like relapsing, kind of in a way, into this like very unhealthy obsession. And it wasn't the same because I wasn't like interacting with any person or anything like that, but it was still very much affecting me. So it was like I just shouldn't be interacting, or it shouldn't be affecting me like this. Like this isn't my life. Like it should not be, I should not be reacting this way. And so but I realized, because towards the end of my last job, I was very unhappy, very, very much so. Like, well, not even just towards the end, but like there was an aspect to my job, which I've mentioned before, that it was very hard to deal with. And I am glad I do no longer have to deal with that anymore. But it was very, very hard, and it made me feel awful every day, and it made my anxiety so bad because I was worried every single night about the next day, and I would just be like, what is going to happen tomorrow? Basically the issue is that I was getting yelled at, like every day by people, and not people I work with or anything, and so I was like, how do you deal with that? Like how do you just have to take that? And I feel bad for the people who still do have to do that. That is really unfortunate, and I feel terrible for those people. I'm sure some people can take it better than I can, and I think that's the main issue that I have, is that I genuinely can't do it. Like I literally can't react, or I can react. That's the thing. I can put on a brave face, especially over the phone, but I'm like shaking, and like I can't, like every day, multiple times a day, I get yelled at by people. It's just not something you should have to deal with. Anyone should have to deal with at their job. And so, I was not okay mentally, and therefore I was like, I need to submerge myself in this world, this fandom. And I was doing that, but the problem was that world was also bad. Like, bad things were happening, and so I was just all bad. Like, it was just like, and then I'm wallowing, and I'm like doing this cycle of like, okay, well, it's bad at work, it's bad here, which is my escape. Like it was just very hard to deal with. And then thankfully that situation got better. And also at like the exact same time I got a new job. I was still working my other job though, and so I was still not happy, but but it felt like, oh, this relief of like, oh, finally, like I don't have to deal with this anymore, and that was great. But So I'm definitely like, I'm saying all of this, and like I've already gotten past it, like, to a very large degree. Like, the main problem is gone. I'm still like in that fandom, but I don't have the same like attachment to it. I care very much about it, and I do think about it all the time. And I mean, there's levels of obsession, right? Like, I'm still obsessed to some degree. I will always be obsessed with something. It's like the oh my god, it was like the one, like, there was like 6 to 8 months where I was not obsessed with anything, and it was like kind of awful. Like, I felt lost, like I had no identity, which is bad, right? Like, it's not great. I should have my own identity, and it shouldn't be just tied to this whatever thing I like at the time. And I probably do. I do have my own identity, but I don't know. And so what was I talking about? Yeah, I'm fine now. Like, I'm not extremely happy, but I am a lot better. And there's still like like a big part of me that's like, I just always, like, genuinely always wish that I liked things the regular amount. Like, I wish that I could just not care as much about certain things and certain people and certain just things. I don't know. I like, I love fandom sometimes. I used to really love it. Now it's like awful. But I don't know if it's because I'm older or if things have just gotten worse. But yeah. There's a lot of good and a lot of bad, but mostly bad these days, sadly. And like, I love caring about things, but at the same time, and I love the things that I love. Like, I love all of this stuff that I love. But at the same time, I'm like, I wish I wasn't so obsessed. Like, I wish I could just like it a regular amount. Like, and I know I can like things regular amounts because I do. Like, there are a lot of things I just kind of like. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I just kind of like. But I wish I didn't go so far with things. Like, I wish I just could, like, I wish there was never a situation where I'm like that deep in. And I know, like, I wouldn't be who I am without it. Like, I just, like, it is a part of me. But at the same time, I just hate it. Like, I hate that it affects me so much. Like, there are things that I'm like, I'll learn something new about, like, something that I'm interested in, and maybe it disappoints me in some way, and I'm like, man, that sucks. And then I feel awful for, like, a week, and I can't stop thinking about it, and it's like, it has absolutely nothing to do with my life. Like, my life goes on, and yet my brain is, like, stuck in this, like, space of, like, I'm disappointed. And I can never be, like, fully happy because I always have this thing in the back of my mind that's disappointing me, or, like, just, like, pulling at me in some way that's like, you can't fully enjoy life because this thing is bothering you. And just like, okay, cool. Thanks. Which, I mean, happens regardless of whether I'm obsessed with something or not. So, like, because, like, I'll be like, you should go to the gym. Oh, I should. Yeah, I should. And that's going to bother me until I actually go. And so, like, I haven't gone in, like, 3 months. I haven't gained any weight, but I haven't lost any either, so. And I haven't been eating as well, but I am still eating way better than I ever was previously. So, I'm not, like, getting I'm not getting down on myself. Also, I'm like watching a lot of like intuitive eating stuff where it's like I'm trying not to like put labels on like good and bad food and like even healthy and unhealthy foods, like, because while I do want to be healthy, like I want, and it has nothing to do with weight or anything like that. I want to be healthy, and I don't feel healthy right now at all. Like I feel like a lot of pain in a lot of parts of my body that were fine a few months ago because I was going to the gym. And I know I feel better when I go to the gym, so like I think it's just like a lot of like then I feel guilt. So I'm like, you would feel better if you would just go to the gym. And now I'm not going to because freaking COVID cases are going back up. And I'm like, whatever. But I could definitely walk while I'm at my house. Like, I used to walk like pretty much every day. Like, at least 5,000 steps, but sometimes like 7,000, 9,000, 10,000 steps in my house. Like, just back and forth from like over by my TV over there to all the way on the other side of my kitchen. I used to just walk back and forth, and I just haven't been doing that at all. I haven't been doing anything. I've just been sitting on my couch. And that's another thing, like, I still am very much like obsessed with my new like full obsession is like Twitch. Like, I can't stop watching Twitch streams. And it's not new because I've been doing it since like last year. Literally last year. Yeah, it was like October of last year. I've been watching like streamers, a lot of them. And so like I can't stop, and it's constant because like someone is always streaming. So it's like it's never like there's never a time where I'm like I could just, like, I can't watch a stream because no one is streaming, right? Because there's always someone streaming. And there's always someone I like streaming. Like, yeah, of course there's always someone streaming, but is it going to be someone I like? The only time there really isn't is when I'm working. So it's like, okay, well, that's fine because I'm working. And then now it's like, okay, as soon as I'm done with work, no one's streaming. Or, I mean, everyone is streaming, or multiple people. At least one person is streaming, like, every day. And so it's like, where's the incentive for me to do anything else? There isn't. Especially since I'm obsessed. So it's like, I can't. I'm in an obsession. I'm in the hyperfixation, whatever you want to call it. Like, I just I can't stop myself because it's what I want to do. It's what the thing that brings me happiness. And so, but it does bring me happiness, but then it also, at the exact same time, bothers me because in the back of my mind I go, you should be doing all these other things. And it's weird because, like, I mean, my apartment's clean, like, pretty much everything is, like, okay. Like, everything else is okay. I didn't, like, stop doing things or whatever, you know, like, I didn't, like, I don't know. I just feel like I could be doing so much more. And it's one of those things where I know, like, before when I was making videos and stuff, and I was like, I'm just making myself more stressed out because I'm putting this pressure on myself that doesn't need to be there, right? Like, I don't need to make videos. I don't need to do that. And yet I'm still, like, my brain is going, well, you should be doing that because that's what you should be doing, right? But it's like, I should be doing it if I want to do it, which is why I'm sitting here right now, because I wanted to make something. Like, I don't have, an idea for a video or anything. I mean, I have, like, an idea for a couple things, but I don't have it, like, all, like, ready and everything, so I was like, I just want to turn on the camera and talk, and we'll see what comes of that. And so that's what this is. And I'm enjoying it so far. It's somewhat fulfilling. It's not, like, creatively fulfilling because it's, like, just me talking, but it's interesting, you know? And I do, like, I have this, like, yearning to make things. I actually wrote something the other day, but, well, I started writing it. Oh, why is this happening? What is it called? I started writing something. I'm, like, trying to find it. Excuse me? Okay. Right. Okay, listen. Go away. Alright. It was, a screenplay. It has, how many pages? 5, I think? 4. 4 pages so far. It was just gonna be, like, a short film. But, and I definitely could still make it, but it was literally just, it's literally, like, self-insert. It's just, like, a short film about anxiety, about my anxiety specifically, and about, it's almost like a day in the life, in a way, but it's not, like, exactly what my life is like, but it is starting out very similar to what my life is like. And so I was like, I kind of just want to do this. And it makes me, it kind of has the same feeling of, like, and I'm not at all comparing anything that I've ever done to Bo Burnham, but it makes me feel like it was, like, my attempt, and that wasn't even my attempt at, like, copying him or anything, but it was like, this is my self-expression in whatever I want to do, and it's not comedic at all yet, at least. But it was just, like, a self-expression, like, this is what's going on in my brain type thing, and in that way it's similar. Which is weird because I remember I saw, like, a bunch of people trying to do stuff like that after Bo Burnham's Inside, and I was like, this is so annoying. Like, I was like, it's pretentious, and it's also, like, it just feels weird. Like, I mean, doing it the way I'm doing it too, it also feels pretentious. Don't get me wrong. Like, I feel pretentious writing what I wrote. Like, absolutely. But sometimes you just need to write it. And you're like, okay. Like, I could definitely also, that's why I was thinking it was kind of like Inside, because it was like, I could definitely shoot it all myself and edit it all myself and do all of that. I could definitely do it. It's very easy, but I don't want to. I mean, I don't know that I will, you know what I mean? It's not even that I don't want to. It's that, like, I don't know if it's worth it. Like, I don't know if I just need to write it and get it out because I feel how I feel, you know? And so I don't know. But I didn't finish it. I just wrote 4 pages so far. It's not great, I'll tell you that much. But it's more than I've written in, like, 2 years. So, well, I mean, the most fiction I've written in, like, 2 years. I've written, like, 12 pages of garbage for my Destiel video that I never even made the cut because I decided to go a different way. But we'll see. I don't know. I kind of want to just make a video where I talk about, like certain experiences within the fandom, within the Supernatural fandom, because, like, I keep going back to this moment where I think about, like, how I felt after season 9 aired, after season 9 finale aired, or, like, around that time when JibCon happened that time, and it was, like, awful. And it was, like, that's, like, the one thing that, like, really sticks out in my mind all the time when I think about, like, the trials and tribulations of being a Destiel shipper in this fandom, and the intense highs and intense lows that we could feel one right after another. And that's like the most intense I've ever felt, a high and a low in the fandom. And it was like crazy. I mean, I guess other than from like 15, 18 to the finale, because I didn't dislike the finale, but the way the fandom reacted to the finale made me go very like I was very upset. Like I was so upset. I just felt like it was weird because like after 15, 18 it felt like I was back in this like amazing fandom, and this experience was so amazing, and it was just so great because like Destiel went canon and everyone was celebrating, and it was just so great and all this stuff, and everyone was like getting along. Like I'm not saying everyone, like obviously the Wincest shippers and the Destiel shippers were not getting along. However, but I mean like now it's awful. Like I'm very like on the edge of fandom, on the edge of the supernatural fandom kind of, but like these days anyways, but I know what's going on. Like I see a lot of it because I still follow a lot of supernatural fans and friends from the fandom and everything. And I see, all of the stuff that's going on, and it's like I'm just tired of it. So like I don't like, I mean, every once in a while I will tweet about it. Not every once in a while. I do tweet about it kind of often, but it's like I'm just tired. Like I'm so tired. Like the show's over. I can't care about this anymore. Like I can't care about the infighting, especially within the Destiel like fandom. It's like, why are we fighting about this? Like why are we fighting about this? Like we won, like, but then there are people who don't believe that we did, and it's like I don't know how to agree with you about that. Like I don't know how you can watch 15, 18 and think that it was homophobic like that. Especially from people who just joined after 15, 18 or just during this season. It's so frustrating to see that. It's like you don't even understand. Like you literally don't get it. And I'm just, I don't know. I don't, like I've already talked about it a few times in my videos and stuff. So it's like, what else am I supposed to do, I'm not going to keep talking about it. Like there's just no getting through to certain people, and there are people who will always think that the writers of this show hate them because they ship Destiel, and it's like I don't know where you're coming from with that. Like I genuinely don't. Maybe some of them, I don't know, but as a whole I disagree, and I don't even think Dab, like people think Dab hates Destiel shippers, and it's like I obviously don't know the guy. I don't know anything about him in general, but like he's written so much of like quality, not only Destiel stuff but by Dean stuff, and it's like I just don't get it. Like I don't see what you see. I don't see this hatred, and I genuinely don't even understand why like you would want to believe that the people who write this show that you love actually hate you. Like, I know, like, okay, it's not like they want to believe that, but like, I don't know. I just don't get it. Like, I don't know. Because, and the thing is, never, not once, has any writer on the show publicly said anything negative about Destiel. Like, genuinely, 0 writers have said anything negative about Destiel. Like, when you think about it, writers, specifically, 0 of them have said that. Have said anything negative about Destiel. Like, none of them has said anything. It's so crazy to me to think, like, not even Buck Lemming, and they write really good Destiel though, so that would make sense. But it's just like, So when you, like, I understand being disappointed with, like, certain things that happen on the show, especially the finale. I understand certain things, to being upset about certain things that were planned from the beginning from the writers, like Dean dying. I understand being upset about Dean dying, especially how soon after he died. That is the one thing I'm upset about. I wish he had lived longer before he died. And even just this past weekend, Jensen said he believed that it was years, which it wasn't. In the script, it said 6 months. And so, yeah, that is, like, weird that he thought that. I don't know. But I wish it was. I wish it was, like, 10 years difference. Like, I wish 10 years had passed, at least. Where Dean was living his life without the influence of Chuck and all of that, and being able to live his life the way he wanted to. That is what I wish. I wish that that had happened, that he had lived at least 10 years, and then he would have died, and that would have been fine with me. I knew he was going to die. Like, I had already predicted that he was going to die. I had predicted that they met in heaven, which is exactly what happened. Like, I literally predicted the finale. So I'm sure that's why I wasn't disappointed by it, because I knew it was going to happen in my head. But it doesn't really matter, right? Like, so people were disappointed. I understand. I get it. But, like, I literally just saw a tweet, like, the other day that listed all these things. They're like, the writers really wrote the finale with this, this. And I was like, okay, but they didn't. Like, all of it was wrong. Like, the writers really thought that we would like a finale that, like, had no, well, first of all, okay, they said an ending. I don't even think it was, like, the finale. It was, like, an ending where there was no angel, no gays, I can't remember. It was a bunch of things that were listed off, like, oh, just the brothers, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. Like, all of the things that they had listed were incorrect in some way or another. First of all, that they thought, the original tweet was basically saying, like, they thought they wrote the perfect ending. They didn't think that. First of all, Deb said that, like, only 30% of the audience was going to like the finale. He said that. That's not to say he, like, wanted only 30% to like the finale. He just believed that that was true, and it was true. But, anyway. But I don't think, okay. But a lot of what they had originally planned did not happen because of COVID, and I am so tired of people not thinking that that's a valid excuse. Like, I don't really understand it. They were the first production to go back to work in Vancouver. Okay, they were the first ones in August of 2020. That was so early. So early. Hi, Elmo. And so, like, they had no idea what they were allowed, what they should and should not be doing. They had the craziest protocols. And, one of the things on the list that didn't happen in the finale was Misha. Okay. Yeah, no, you're right. Misha wasn't in it. But they wrote Misha in the finale originally. He was supposed to be in it. It wasn't like he wasn't supposed to be in the finale. No, he was not supposed to be cast. I understand. Okay, whatever. I do think that the scene between Jimmy and Dean would have been kind of, because it would have been like, he would have thought it was Cass and it wasn't Cass, and that would have been angsty. But anyway, but Cass was still supposed to be alive at the end of the show. So, like, Cass was going to live always. He was always going to be brought back from the empty. He was always going to recreate heaven with Jack. Okay, maybe not in person. We didn't see him do it. Okay, sorry. But literally, would you have rather Misha risked his life to do that? Like, I don't understand. Anyway, a lot of money constraints. That was the biggest issue. And then people were like, well, I don't understand because they had all those people with their masks off at the end of the thing. It's like, yeah, because they literally were living in a bubble. Like, that's the whole point. That was the whole point. All of the people there were living in a fucking bubble. And they were all interacting with each other and only each other the whole time. Anyway. So there's just a lot of stuff that I could argue about all day. But yeah, people always blame the writers for everything and blah, blah, blah. Even though, like, most of the stuff that people were angry about in the finale was COVID related. And like the found family aspect of it was supposed to be there. Like that's one of the biggest things people were angry about was that Chuck won, which I can't even understand that. I don't know why I have this in my hand. Anyway, Chuck won. Okay, sure. How? He literally lost all of his powers. Anyway, whatever. And Sam and Dean didn't kill each other. That's what Chuck wanted. Anyway. I can't. So yeah. But it wasn't just the brothers. I understand that, like, the whole heaven thing, because of COVID, all of the people who were supposed to come back and be in this big roadhouse thing, which I do understand is cheesy, and I do think it's kind of weird to have, like, the actual band Kansas play Carry On Wayward Son in heaven. I think that's kind of cheesy, I'm not gonna lie, but I think that if it had happened and, like, COVID wasn't, a thing and all this stuff, and it happened the way that they had planned, people would have probably really liked it. Like, people shit on it, but I genuinely think people would have liked it. Anyway, other than the Dean dying part so early, I do think that if it was always planned for him to die 6 months after, I think that was ridiculous, and I think it could have easily happened with him, being 10 years older, and I do think a lot of people would have been a lot better with that, like, would have dealt a lot better with that. I do also know that people think that it was, like, reinforcing this idea that he was only a hunter and only good for that, and he was suicidal and they killed him and blah, blah, blah. Like, he, did not kill himself and did not want to die because he was suicidal. So I don't agree. I genuinely don't agree with that statement. We can all have different opinions, whatever. Like, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I don't agree that they were, like, romanticizing suicide. I genuinely do not believe that, and I think thinking that I don't want to say it. Anyway, you can have your own opinion. I just genuinely don't agree. And I say that as someone who has been suicidal in the past. I whatever that means for you, whatever. But I also think the show itself has never been a happy one. Like, I don't think that, I don't know. I think I always knew that he was going to end up dead. Like, I always knew that. Like, I knew that Sam and Dean, at least one of them was going to die in the end. And I definitely thought it was going to be Dean. It was both of them in the end, but obviously Dean died first, and that was the issue, whatever. Well, Dean dying first in general is not an issue, but so early, I agree with that. He shouldn't have died so soon after Chuck lost all of his control over everyone. So, yeah. But basically, yeah, the people blame the writers for all these things that were not, one, under their control, and two, they didn't even do. Like, like, again, like, with the found family aspect of it, like, the entire, like, end of the show changed, and they said, oh, it didn't change that much, but I don't think they realized that it changed it that much, right? Like, in some sense, it didn't, because they were still technically all there in heaven with their found family, right? But we didn't see it. And it was kind of mentioned, right? And it was kind of only mentioned, well, no, that's not true. I was going to say it was kind of only mentioned that it was, like, Mary and John were there, which isn't their found family, but I disagree. It was also other people. I disagree with my own statement, but anyway, yeah, there were so many people there that they were found, that was their found family. Like, of course, there are people that they care about, and they were trying to get, anyone who could back on the show at the end. And COVID happened, so they couldn't get anyone. Like, that's just how it worked out. Like, sorry. It sucks. I wish it didn't happen that way, but it did. So, like, that is not their fault. Like, that is not the writer's fault. It just isn't. Maybe could they have done a little bit of a better job of having, more of a found family feel to it? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they could have. I can't think of a way. I mean, other than just, like, listing off names of other people who were there. Like, I don't know. Without the actors actually being there, it's worthless. You know what I mean? It's just exposition, and it's weird and awkward. So I don't know. I don't know what they could have done differently in that aspect. I understand. Okay, going back to, like, people were just saying, like, because they were wearing the clothes that they wore in, like, this first season, that they were going back to the basics and being, like, oh, it is just the brothers, and that's all that matters. And it's like, that's not what, just because they're wearing the same clothes, which I don't even think was, like, it's not in the script that they're wearing the same clothes. Like, you know what I mean? That wasn't scripted. It was probably directed, or, whatever, the costume designer, set designer, costume designer, all these people, like, they probably decided that and thought it might be a nice homage to the early seasons, but I don't think it was like, yeah, they're wearing the same clothes and they're on the bridge thing is a little, yeah. And that one wasn't, I don't think that was originally scripted, though, because I think the last scene was supposed to be with everyone in the roadhouse. I think that's the main thing that changed, was that was the difference. And so, like, that wasn't actually their original plan. So no, they don't think that they wrote the perfect ending, because they literally wrote a different ending. So no, it's not the perfect ending. They've never even admitted that they thought that they wrote the perfect ending. So and maybe if they did, it was at the very beginning of their process, where they thought that they were going to be able to film that ending, and then they couldn't. So I don't know. It just makes me mad. Like, I know, like, okay, whatever. They're like, they're all, important people, and far more, like, they don't need me to defend them. What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, they don't need me to defend them, and I understand that. But I hate, like, I mean, as a writer, I think that's why I don't like when people just blame the writers for everything. And it's like, you not liking something doesn't mean it's bad. Like, I'm not saying that the finale was great. Like, it wasn't amazing. It was subpar at best. I liked overall the idea of the ending. I just would have tweaked some things, especially the amount of time that passed. And Sam's wig. But that's also not a writing thing, so. And also I would have made it more clear that Sam married Eileen. That would be something that I would have made clear. But I can't even believe that they didn't do that. That is something that I just don't understand. Like, they definitely could have had him just, like, sign something to the blurry wife, and made it obvious that it was Eileen, even though they couldn't have her there. Like, you just could have easily done that. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. And I do agree that it's really weird to show, like, all of these family photos in Sam's house, and there's no photos of him and his wife and kid. Like, And I could even understand if that was like a budgetary thing, like they couldn't get, like maybe they had to pay for using Shoshana in the finale or something, if even if it's just a picture of her. Like I could understand that because they had budgetary issues with COVID and everything. But then just don't show all those pictures. There was just so many pictures of like Mary and John and Dean and literally no one else. Like I just don't get it. So that's what I'm saying. Like I can sit here and like rag on some certain things that happen in the finale. Most of them are not writing related though. And I just and I think I just have a lot of sympathy for them because I know that so many things change from when you write something to it being on the screen. And especially in this situation with COVID, like I've co-written a TV pilot, and it was very vastly different from what we wrote, what ended up on the screen, and that just happens. Like it just happens with everything that is made, every scripted thing and also unscripted things. They change. They change with rewrites. They change with scheduling issues. They change with casting issues. They change with weather issues. They change with editing decisions. They change with like so many things, like costume design, everything, like set design, different can't talk, different like locations that you can and can't get. Things change. Like everything changes. So much stuff changes. And it's just so obvious to me that a lot of people who hate on the writers, like just continuously, do not know how TV works. Like they don't know how television works, and they don't care. And that's fine. You don't have to care, but also like you're just wrong about certain things, and I can't explain to you without seeming like an asshole, and I just, oh well, you know, like I guess I'll just be an asshole. I don't know. I knocked on my desk. Anyway, I don't know. But this is the most I've ever talked about the finale online, and probably ever will, you know? I don't want to talk about it anymore. Finally, opening up about the finale will probably be the title of this episode. Yeah, it's not completely about the finale, so. Cool. I don't know. I think I should probably go, though, because it is almost an hour long, and I'm not editing it, but it will be, I don't want it to be too long, so I'm gonna go. I used to stream every week. I don't think I'm gonna stream anymore. At least not for a while. I don't think I should stream until I know what I'm doing. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. So, I think that, the biggest thing that I should talk about is I hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. So, thank you to everyone who subscribes. I'll probably go back under 100 after this video goes up. I apologize. Not really. Because these are my opinions. So, but yeah, I'm at 106. I have 106 subscribers, which is amazing. I had 99 for a very long time. Like, I was at 99 for, like, months. And I was like, when is this gonna, just get to 100? And then with my last video, I got to 106. So I gained 7 subscribers just from that one video. So thank you all for following me. I do still love Destiel, and I will always. I do want to make a series where I go through, at least at one video, where I go through some of the tropes that have been used over the years for Dean and Cass on Supernatural. But I do want to make it clear that I don't think all of these tropes were used intentionally. That does not mean that they were not used. That does not mean that they do not fit those tropes. And I also don't know the intention, because I am not the writer who wrote it. So I do want to make that clear in the video. I will make that clear of like, when I think something was used intentionally, I'll say that. But that doesn't mean it was still. There are definitely times where I really feel like something was intentionally romantic, but that doesn't mean I was right about it. I obviously have a bias, but at the same time, I do still understand romantic tropes. So anyway, I do kind of want to go through them and see. I'll probably just like go through the list of romantic tropes and like pick some out and then make a video on like, I'll pick some out that I know are used at some point on the show, and then I'll just make a video about those. So that'll be fun. So I think that's one video to look forward to, is at least one of those. Because I'm sure I could make a series out of it. I just don't know that I will want to make a series out of it. Like, I want to make a video, at least one video about it, because I have this like yearning to do it. But I don't know that I will want to continue to do it after I've done one, because it depends on how easy or hard it is. Because sometimes I'm just like, this is too much. And then another video I want to do is, like I said earlier, like specific moments, kind of like story time videos, which I know are not like in anymore, but like a story time video of like, this is the time in this, like this was a time in this fandom, like this is what happened at this point, like kind of like a history, like an I don't know, like a fandom history type thing, but like not, but just about me, just about my experience, which I'm sure a lot of people share. I'm sure there are many people who felt the same way that I felt about certain things. I kind of want to go through also the 903 fiasco that happened, but I don't know if I want to actually do that. I just know that like I revisited the 903 fiasco, which is it's basically some guy from like the CW or the WB, I think it was the WB, had tweeted, or like it was an episode, well it was a Buck Lemming episode, and Adam Glass tweeted to ask questions to this one executive for some reason about the episode. I don't know why he tweeted that. I have no idea why, but he had tweeted like, any questions, talk to this person. I have no idea why he did that. And then it happened I people were mad because Cass had sex with April, and it was everyone was mad. I was mad. I will admit, I did not like it. I was like, why couldn't you just, like, it could have been a guy. Like, it literally could have been a guy. It could have been anyone. Other than a woman, but it had to go straight. You know what I mean? Like, had to go the straight route. It was just frustrating, like, because it would have been such an easy opportunity to make Cass queer. But anyway, they ended up doing it anyways, so I'm fine with it. But I went back and I was like, I kind of have a different opinion about this now. Like, I think we went really hard on this guy for no reason. Like, we were very upset, and I think that was, like, he basically just, like, he wasn't even being that bad, like, and it also wasn't on him, like, who even knows this guy? Like, I don't even remember his name. I think it was, like, Chad, but, no, that's Chad Lindbergh, I think, I don't remember his name, but it was, like, he has no say in this. Like, even though he's a WB exec, like, he doesn't care. Like, there's nothing he has to do with this. And also, like, I think the issue was that, like, people believed, especially after season 8, that, like, we were ramping up to something with Dean and Cass, which I agree. Like, I do think that it started then, and I don't know. I think that Carver, the showrunner, at the time, who started in season 8, started showrunning in season 8. I think he wanted to, I don't know that he wanted to make it canon, but I do think he wanted to do it as close as he possibly could without actually doing it, you know what I mean? Without, like, which is, like, people are like, that's the definition of queer baiting, but, like, anyway, I do think he was intentionally putting things there that, he didn't need to, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, like, Dean and Cass's relationship became a plot line in season 8, so there had to be some reason for that, right? And so, but I don't think he brought that up to the executives or, you know, like the network at all. I don't think he had planned on ever doing that, because I think he was just going to keep it as subtext, but as, like, loud as he possibly could. And I that's how I feel. I don't know. This is just me speculating. I said I was going to leave like 7 minutes ago. So that's what I speculate and how I feel about Jeremy Carver. I used to love Jeremy Carver. I mean, I don't dislike him, but, like, I loved the Carver era until the Dab era, and I was like, oh. I do love Dab. Like, I am a Dab apologist. I don't think he has anything. I mean, there's one thing that he's done that I really did not like, and it was use a transphobic word in an episode, and it could very well have been ignorance. Like, I don't know that he knows that it's transphobic. So it wasn't the T word. I don't think they allow that word on network television, thankfully, or at least, yeah, network television, I should say. I did say that, but anyway. But I do think that, I don't know. I mean, he could have known that it was, but it was also, I don't think that it's right either way, but it was a villain who said it. So they were being, like, it wasn't like someone that you're supposed to, like, agree with. But I still don't like it. It doesn't matter. There's no reason for anyone to use it. So, I do agree that is bad. But that's, like, the only thing that, also the, title of 802 I don't like, which I believe is racist. So, once again, could be well, I don't know if it's ignorance, but it's, I'm not gonna defend him for those things. I dislike that he did those things, and I don't, as the only things, but other things that people think he did wrong, I am a Dab apologist. I don't think he did them wrong. So anyway, sorry, not sorry. I used to have this banner on my Tumblr. It's a screenshot from Arrested Development. That's, like, the banner that says "Family Love Michael," and I changed it to say "Emily Love Deb." Not like that, but, like, I do appreciate his writing for the most part. So a lot of his episodes are my favorite episodes. Bobo is number 1. I think Dab is my number 2, and I think Dab and Robbie are tied. Robbie Thompson are tied for number 2 of my favorite writers. So Bobo's number 1, Dab and Robbie number 2, and then the rest. No, I'm just kidding. I like Steve Yockey, Meredith Glynn. Yeah. I know there's a lot of people I like, but people I don't like: Bottom of the Barrel, Buck Lemming, and Adam Glass. I don't like most of Adam Glass's episodes. Like, when I was, like, going through the list of episodes on stream the one day, every single one that I knew was Adam Glass, I did not like. I was like, I don't like these. I think there was maybe, like, 2 episodes that I liked of his. I'm sorry, but I don't like them. He usually got Monster of the Week episodes, so that's kind of where the issue is. I don't like Monster of the Week episodes. But Robbie got Monster of the Week episodes, and I loved his. So there's no excuse. Not a sponsor. I also really don't like this thing, but I still use it every day. It's really stupid. I'm not going to go into it. Anyway, I'm going to go. You'll see more of me, I think, because I just feel the need to do things again. And I hope that I actually go through with it. I have my like actual camera set up like right here next to me. And I was thinking about using it for my actual videos instead of like what I'm using right now. I'm using my webcam. Because it's so much better quality. And also I paid like $2,000 for it like 5-6 years ago. So I should get some, use out of it. I did use it for a while, but just the files are so big. That editing is so, oh my God, intensive. It's like my computer just like freezes constantly when I do it. So I don't think I'm going to use my camera, but you never know. I am going to leave though. All right. Thank you for listening and watching, and thank you for subscribing. I'm so excited that I got over 100 subscribers, and I hope that I continue to grow. Not just because, like, that would be cool, but like, no, that is why it would be cool, because it's not like I want, like, obviously I've always wanted this to be my job, like, not always, because it didn't exist when I was younger, but I have wanted to do like online content creation since it was a job, right? And I just can never consistently commit. And I just want to. Like, I always want to, and then I don't. And I feel like maybe, I don't know. I just put too much pressure on myself. So I'm hoping that if I need to put like the right amount of pressure on myself. So like if I don't put any pressure on myself, I'm not going to do it at all. But if I put too much pressure on myself, then I'm like, this is too much. I can't do it. And so I need to find a nice middle ground. Right now I have a really bad sleep schedule. So I honestly feel like after I'm done filming this, I want to film another video, like an actual video, but I don't have anything written, so I would not be able to do that. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Who knows? Not me. But, that's about it. I'm gonna go because this is already like 115? No, an hour and 15 minutes. So I gotta go. But I will see you next time, whether it be a regular video or another podcast like this. We'll see. Who knows? But I enjoy whatever it is. I hope I enjoy it. I don't know. Okay. Goodbye.